Hi guys, and welcome to the corrections for the week 16 spiral. Make sure when you are making corrections, if you get something wrong, you do a full correction and write all the work that goes with it. Monday, Anne bought a necklace for each of her 3 sisters. She paid $7 for each necklace. Suppose she had $9 left. Write and solve an equation to find how much money Anne had initially to spend on each sister. So my hint for this is it's going to be a multi-step equation. So don't forget to first define your variable to figure out what you are trying to answer. So first, go ahead and enter the equation. Second part, go ahead and enter your solution. Okay, so when I define my variable, I just use x, and x is equal to the initial money for each sister, because that's what we're trying to figure out, how much money each sister had to spend on. So it says right here that she paid $7 for each necklace. So if we take the initial money, excuse me, and subtract 7, we're going to get the money spent on each sister. And she has 3 sisters. So we can write a multi-step equation. 3 times the quantity x minus 7 equals 9. So down below where it says to show your work, I solved my equation. I first divided by 3 because I noticed that 3 went into 9 evenly. And so I was left with x minus 7 equals 3. I added 7 to each side and got 10. And then in context to my word problem, excuse me, it is $10. Tuesday, which inequality has the solution set shown in the number line below? So I know your spiral is a little bit faded. It didn't print out as much. Make sure that you see that it is a closed circle at 3 going to the left. So figure out what the graph would mean with your variable, inequality sign, and solution. And then down here, you're going to solve each one and see which ones show the solution set. Okay, so I went ahead and solved each one. The first one, x plus 4 is less than or equal to 7. I subtracted 4, and I got x is less than 3, and that's exactly what the graph shows, so that's a yes, so I selected it. The next one, I did my one isolation, and I subtracted 9 from each side, and my variable was on the wrong side, so I reflected it, and I got x is less than 3. Close, but it's not less than or equal to, so that's a no. Next one, x plus 1 is less than or equal to 2. I subtracted 1 from each side and got x is less than or equal to 1. That's a no. And then last one, my isolation was to add 10 to each side. And right here I have 3 is greater than or equal to x. But remember, in inequalities, we always want our variable on the left side. So I drew my line of symmetry and reflected it over and got x is less than or equal to 3. So the only ones that work are the first and the second one. Wednesday, the table shows the number of points that each student lost on the first math test. Each question on the test was worth an equal number of points. Christopher answered 6 questions incorrectly. How many questions did Nithya, Raul, Tanya, and Michael answer incorrectly? So what you'll be prompted for next is there will be the 1, 2, 3, 4 missing answers for number correct, and I want you to choose the option that has them in the correct order, that they would be filled in from underneath Christopher. So Michael's, then Nithya, then Raul, then Tanya. Second part, another student answered 9 questions incorrectly. How many points did that student lose? Okay, so what I did is, since it said that each question on the test was worth an equal number of points, I looked at Christopher. He lost 24, and if you divide that by 6, it goes in 4 times. So that means it's a loss of 4 points for each question. So what I did for the rest is I just divided each by 4, and then that tells me the number incorrect. For the next part, if a student entered 9 questions incorrectly, I did 9 times -4. Signs are different. So I get a -36, and so that would be a loss of 36 points. Thursday, Joaquin can send up to 250 text messages each month. So far this month, he has sent 141 text messages. Let T represent the number of text messages Joaquin can send during the rest of the month. So for the first part, you're going to write an inequality to model the situation. Second part, solve the inequality for T. Graphing, just make sure your graph matches up with mine. And then the last part, you're going to interpret the solution to the inequality. Explain your reasoning. Okay, so important information. Let T represent the number of text messages Joaquin can send during the rest of the month. So that's my variable. And he's already sent 141. So I took how many he has left, and we should add 141. And he can send up to 250. So that means he could send exactly 250 or less than that. So that's why I chose less than or equal to. Over here is where I went ahead and solved my one-step inequality by subtracting 141 from each side. And my solving for T is less than or equal to 109. For my graph, I set it up. It's going to be a closed circle because 109 can be included in the solution set, and less than goes to the left. So what this means for interpreting the solution, it means Joaquin can send no more than 109 texts for the rest of the month. We are finished with side 1, and so here is a picture of PJ. It's super cold tonight and windy, so he's curled up, and I think he kind of looks like a chicken nugget. Make sure you are on the back side of your spiral. The geometry review, again, making a full correction means that you put the work that goes along with any problems that you missed. Number 1, Pentamino's Pizza offers a medium pizza with a 12-inch diameter for $6. The large pizza with a 15-inch diameter is on sale for $10. Which one gives you more square inches of pizza for the money? So a lot of you ask me, when are we going to need to use area of a circle? When you are in college and you are low on money, you are going to want to eat a lot of pizza because that's usually the cheapest. And so you want to find the best deal for your dollar. So this is a problem where you might have to actually use that. So my tip is first to find the area of each pizza and then find out how much of a square inch of pizza you can get for $1. Okay, so medium and large, I set up my problems. I found the area of each pizza, and so for the medium, you're going to get 113.04 square inches of pizza. And then for the large, you're going to get 176.625 square inches of pizza. So then we're given the information that the 12-inch is $6 and the 15-inch is $10. So what I did down below is I took my area and I divided it by the price to find out how many square inches I could get for $1, because that way we could find out what the better buy is to get more pizza for our dollar. So for the medium, it's 18.8 inches squared for $1, 17.7 for the large. So actually, the better buy would be the medium because you get more square inches of pizza per dollar. Number 2, George wants to tie a ribbon around a basketball to give it as a gift. He needs enough ribbon to wrap around the ball and then 12 more inches to tie the bow. The basketball has a 4.5 inch radius. How much ribbon does he need total? So my hint on this one is we want the distance around the outside of the basketball, but that is not going to be the answer. Keep in mind he needs 12 more inches to tie the bow. All right, so outside of the edge or around the outside of the basketball would be the circumference. And what I was given was the radius. So the formula I used was 2 times pi times the radius. So 2 times 3.14 times 4.5. I doubled the radius and got 9 and multiplied and got 28.26 inches. That's not the answer though, because he needs 12 more inches to tie the bow. So I added 12 and got 40.26 inches squared, or not inches squared, just inches. Number 3, Ben's bedroom is 8 feet long and 7 feet wide. Peter's bedroom is 9 feet long and 6 feet wide. First question, whose bedroom has the greater area? Second part, how much greater is it? So I put Ben and Peter, and first I had to find the area of each room. So length times width, Ben is 56 square feet, Peter 54 square feet. So 56 is greater than 54, so Ben's room has the greater area. And then to answer the second part, how much greater? 56 minus 54 is 2 square feet greater. Number 4, a triangle is cut from a rectangle. Find the area of the shaded region. So again, on your actual spiral, it's kind of faded, so make sure you look at this first. The shaded region will be everything except for the triangle. So you want to take the triangle out. All right, so what I did is I started over here and found the area of the entire rectangle. Length times width is 11 times 6, 66 feet squared. I just want the shaded region, so I want to take that triangle out. So for area of a triangle, base times height divided by 2, 4 times 6 divided by 2, which is 12 feet squared. Last part over here, I did 66 minus 12, which is 54. And so my area is 54 feet squared. Number 5, a diagram for a park is shown. The shaded area represents the picnic sections. Find the area of the picnic sections. Okay, so what I started with is over here, this rectangle, because it's 60 by 25. An area of a rectangle is length times width, and I got 1,500 yards squared. For the triangle part, yeah, I know it's base times height divided by 2. The height, pretty easy to see. If from top to the bottom is 50, that's 50. But to figure out this part right here, the base, I needed to take 150, which is all the way across, minus 120, which was 30. So I did 30 times 50 divided by 2. I ended up taking half of 50, which is 25, and multiplied and got 750 yards squared. The final question is find the area of the picnic sections. So I have to add 1,500 plus 750, and I got 2,250 yards squared. Number 6, the perimeter of a rectangular room is 60 yards. Its length is twice its width. It costs $9 to tile 1 square yard of the floor. So A, find the length of the room. My hint, draw a picture and label. So we know its perimeter, label what the length is and what the width is. Part B, find the cost of tiling the floor. Okay, so over here where I have A, here's my picture. Perimeter is 60 yards, and it says that its length is twice its width. So I used X for my width, and twice the length would be 2 times X. So formula for perimeter of a rectangle is 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. So 2 times 2x is 4x, and 2 times x is 2x. So 60 is equal to 6x. Divide by 6 to isolate, and I get that x is 10. So 10, again, remember what x represents? It is the width, but we're asked for A that we want the length of the room, so I have to multiply that by 2, and that's how I got 20 yards. So the second part, it says find the cost of tiling the floor. It tells us right here that it's $9 to tile 1 square yard of the floor. So if I take $9 and I multiply by 20 yards, 9 times 20 is 180, so it is $180. All right, so that concludes our corrections for the week 16 spiral. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you again next week, and this will be the last spiral. Well, next week will be the last spiral for the rest of the year.